Good morning, and thank you, Dr. Martin, for that kind introduction. So after I finish my DG, I could be chancellor like you.
You're looking for one.
So DGs end up there. And I'm very proud to be here to celebrate with all of today's graduates as you accept your hard-earned degrees in business, communications, computer science, international relations, and trade. Thank you for the opportunity to share some thoughts with you today. As Chancellor Martin said, I was born in the city of Asmara, then Ethiopia, now of course Eritrea. I am Ethiopian. And one of my earliest memories is walking with my mother through the streets of Asmara and seeing posters about a disease called smallpox and an organization that was eradicating it from our communities, the World Health Organization. Of course, I ended up being the head of the World Health Organization. So people say my story is anything is possible. Who would have thought I would be the head of this great organization brought up in a difficult situation? War, disease, I was a war child, as you may know, and all the difficulties that you can imagine. So my story is anything is possible. I had never heard of smallpox before. I had never heard of the World Health Organization. I couldn't have pointed to Geneva on a map. But I knew that sometimes diseases could sneak up on children and snatch them away. I knew because that's what happened to my younger brother. I don't know what disease took him, maybe measles, according to the accounts of our mother. But most probably he was taken by a disease that in another country would have been prevented or managed. The experience of losing my brother was one of the reasons I decided to pursue a career in public health, so that other people would not lose people they loved, like I did. As soon as I graduated from college, one of the first countries I visited was Denmark, where for the first time in my life, I had health insurance. This is in 1988, 37 years ago. Just graduate of a bachelor degree. I'm very young. I couldn't believe that even as a foreigner, I had access to health services free of charge. From entry to exit, you pay nothing. I had the same experience during my graduate studies in the United Kingdom, when I was a beneficiary of the National Health Service. I think these two countries and those experiences were very influential in shaping my commitment to universal health coverage. The idea that all people can access the health services they need without financial hardship. Universal health coverage is one of WHO's core priorities, as you know, the practical expression of the right to health. WHO was founded in 1948 in the aftermath of the Second World War on the conviction that the only alternative to global conflict is global cooperation. Since then, the world has made major gains in health. Life expectancy globally for both sexes has increased from 46 to 73 years. with the biggest gains in the poorest countries. WHO led a successful campaign to eradicate smallpox and is part of a consortium that has driven polio to the brink. In the past 25 years alone, smoking has fallen by a third. Maternal mortality has fallen by a third, and child mortality has more than halved. Despite these gains, severe inequities and inequalities remain in global health. More than 1 billion people are impoverished every year by out-of-pocket spending. Non-communicable diseases now account for 70% of all diseases globally. Obesity rates have skyrocketed. Antimicrobial resistance threatens to unwind a century of medical progress. Air pollution and climate change are jeopardizing the very habitability of the planet on which all life depends, as previous speakers said. The COVID-19 pandemic amplified these inequities and vulnerabilities. On top of the death and suffering it caused, COVID-19 severely disrupted health systems, roiled economies, shattered businesses, and destroyed livelihoods. The pandemic brought out the best and the worst of what humans are capable of. The best, vaccines developed in record time, and countries and communities coming together in solidarity. The worst, inequitable access to vaccines, the politicization of the pandemic, and the torrent of mis- and disinformation which continues. But what gave me hope were the countless young people who stepped up, volunteering, researching, advocating, and innovating. There is no disguising that you're embarking on your careers at a very uncertain time. You're entering a divided and divisive world, a dangerous world, marked by conflict, insecurity, instability, and inequality. These are not isolated crises. They are deeply interwoven, transcending borders and disciplines. But in every crisis lies an opportunity, or as Winston Churchill said, never let a good crisis to waste. Division is an opportunity to create unity. Confusion is an opportunity to create clarity. War is an opportunity to create peace. And that's what the International Institute in Geneva has prepared you for. To think globally, act ethically, lead responsibly, and to see opportunities where others only see problems. Whether your focus was international relations, development, law, public health, economics, or diplomacy, you're stepping into a world that needs your knowledge, your voice, your courage, and your imagination. Leadership today is not about titles or institutions. It's about action, service, and accountability. It's about the choices we make, not when the path is easy, but when it's hard. I often say health is a political choice, but so is justice, so is equity, so is peace. These are choices, political choices. Whether you become a business leader, a policy maker, researcher, negotiator, or an advocate, never underestimate the influence you carry. Thriving business institutions societies and economies are built not with bricks or budgets, but with conviction, with values, and with human will. The future will not be shaped by cynicism or by complacency. It will be shaped by people like you, those who dare to believe that the world can be better and who work every day to make it so. Anything is possible. The last few years have tested our global systems in ways we could not have imagined. Global health, like all global challenges, needs not only experts, but also bridge builders, translators, listeners, and storytellers. It needs people who can connect science to society and policy to people. Graduates, today I ask you to be more than professionals. I ask you to be guardians of humanity, because humanity is being challenged. Sometimes I ask, where is humanity when I see many of the tragic things happening? And you see them, all of us are watching. Whatever career you pursue, hold fast to 4 commitments. First, to equity. Ask yourself, who is being left behind? Whose voices are not being heard? And what can I do to include them? Second, to truth. In a world of polarization, misinformation, and disinformation, deliberate twisting of facts, defend facts, protect science, and cultivate critical thinking. Third, to solidarity. Remember, our destinies are tied. We cannot be healthy, safe, or prosperous in isolation. Global challenges require global solutions and global citizens, and our world is getting smaller. And fourth, to peace in Gaza, Sudan, Ukraine, and many other places. WHO is working to deliver humanitarian aid and to protect life and health. But what the people of these countries need more than aid is peace. The best medicine is peace, including in the current dangerous conflict between Israel and Iran. The best medicine is peace. But peace is not an accident. Peace doesn't just happen. Peace is a choice, which means our world needs leaders who will advocate for peace, work for peace, and choose peace. Actually, the most courageous choose peace. I know war as a child. It's death, it's destruction, it's displacement, it's deprivation, nothing else. That's why I'm a strong believer that the most courageous choose peace. So, to commit to peace, you need courage. So I urge you to be those leaders. And there is no better place to be graduating than in Geneva or in Switzerland, the city of peace, the country of peace. When I was growing up in Ethiopia, I never imagined I would one day lead a global organization based in Geneva, as I said earlier. What brought me here was not privilege, but education, opportunity, and a belief that even a child who comes from a difficult situation can contribute to the world. And anything is possible, and so can you. Do not be afraid to dream boldly. But remember, success is not measured by titles or wealth. It's measured by the lives you touch, the dignity you uphold, the values you respect, and the change you inspire. You're graduating into a world that needs rebuilding, not just with new policies, but with new paradigms of care, cooperation, and above all, compassion and kindness. And you're more ready than you think. You have studied in the shadow of multilateralism. You have engaged with the world in all of its complexity. And you have learned not only what is, but what can be. So go forward with confidence. Bring your full selves to the table. Ask difficult questions. Stand up for what matters, and never lose sight of your purpose based on values for humanity. The world is waiting, not just for your knowledge, but for your leadership. Even as you graduate today, your time as a student is not really over. Now you have graduated from being a student in school to being a student in life. Remember that the people and the communities you're serving or that you're working with often have a lot to teach you. Learn with humility. Learning from others is a gift. So don't stop listening and don't stop learning. My wish for you is that you continue to learn and grow and keep exploring throughout your careers and your lives, and that you will teach me and all of us at the same time. Congratulations to everybody and to all of your families and your mentors. Thank you so much. Merci beaucoup. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Dr. Tedros, for your insight and your encouragement. We very much cherish what you have been saying to us. Now, I know you have received other honorary doctorates, quite a list of it. But this is the first in Geneva, if I'm not mistaken.
Second.
The City of Peace confers, the International Institute in Geneva confers upon Dr. TEDROS GHEBREYESUS the degree of Doctor of Letters honoris causa. Thank you.
So I should say I'm proud and humbled to accept this honorary degree. Thank you so much to graduate.